Okay, so we go from that to two more names in the news. I guess we have to talk about all this bad stuff. This is amazing what's developed.
Every time we bring up a Trevor Bauer in one of these segments, the fans light up on social media. And you got guys that hate Trevor Bauer, and you have other guys that think he's getting a raw deal on this whole thing.
Trevor Bauer just completed an all-star season with the Yokohama Baystars in Japan. He is a free agent. He was on a one-year deal. Trevor Bauer says he wants to come back to Major League Baseball, negotiate a free agent contract. Whether anybody is going to touch this toxic talent remains to be seen. Bauer, about 10 days ago, settled out of court all the legal issues with the woman who had rough sex with him that led to his suspension for 194 games for, quote, sexual misconduct, which led for him to go into Japan. Trevor Bauer released videos that he had with this woman. He named the woman, which normally the media will not cover, but it has now gone public. Her name is Lindsey Hill. She worked for the Padres. She's a baseball fan. She is the daughter of the former head coach at USD, Rich Hill.
Oh, wow.
So he released that. He also released all the texts that they got during the lawsuit discovery.
Mm-hmm.
It included text from this woman that indicated, I'm going to ask him to choke me out. Nice quote. I'm searching my next victim. I want to stake claim to his $51 million. All that destroyed her case in court. Bauer had filed a defamation suit against her, kind of a cross countersuit. All settled out of court. She didn't get any money from Trevor Bauer. She got some money from an insurance policy. But because it's all out in public now, he says, I've never been charged. I served my 194-game sentence. I lost all that money, some $37 million money. I went to Japan. I'm coming back. I'm ready to sign a free agent contract. I don't know whether anybody's going to touch him. Toxic talent. So he got the Trevor Bauer thing, which is now full out there in front of everybody to see. And then you get Ja Morant. Memphis is off to a lousy start because of superstar guard suspended for 25 more games. The aftermath of multiple incidents, he, guns, posse, etc. ESPN does this in-depth report on the Memphis Grizzlies star, talking about his out-of-control lifestyle, running with an entourage. They accuse his father of being his enabler, saying that the father ran the streets with Ja Morant on road trips. Morant would bring a whole entourage of family members and posse, and they would party when the Grizzlies are on these road trips. I mean, they went to strip clubs. They went to really seedy bars. They were out all hours of the night. He missed practices. He showed up hungover. The Grizzly people anonymously said there was never, ever any red flag stuff involving this guy. When they scouted him, he played 1 year at Murray State. Never a red flag. He got to the NBA and the money changed his life. And then all of a sudden there was the bling and the bad dudes with rap sheets, and his father was his enabler. They brought him in, they sat him down. He just refused to listen, pay any attention to what the Memphis front office had to say about what he was doing. He got criticized by his captain, Steve Adams, the big center, who said, when you're on the road, you need to be thinking basketball, getting ready to win games away from home, not being out partying all hours of the day, coming and going. And the NBA people say he met twice with Adam Silver, and they gave up on him just because he would not listen. So there were no red flags when he got scouted, got to the NBA, everything changed. There were red flags with him everywhere. Nobody knows whether Ja Morant is going to heal all the damage he did to his reputation and his career. He's lost all of his endorsements, including cancellation from Puma. And whether or not Memphis even wants him on the team, the players want him on the team. One of their new guys that they acquired, Marcus Smart, who came from Boston, veteran leader, said, this locker room is not going to babysit this guy. So there's a story there about what's happened and what was allowed to happen, and who knows what's going to happen down the road. So there you are. You're out in left field. Tell us about Trevor Bauer. Give us your opinion on Ja Morant.
Well, for Ja Morant, you kind of wonder, is it just like this obstinate, like you can't effing tell me what I need to do with my life?
You are effing correct in that statement.
Yeah.
Yes.
And meanwhile, his dad is part of the posse. So his dad isn't giving him good advice either. So that whole thing is just a cluster. Hopefully Memphis can figure out a way to save this guy. He's such a talent, you'd hate to lose him. But the Trevor Bauer situation is really interesting because, dude is wacky. He's had a lot of incidents in his life that I do not condone at all. But in this situation, it seems like he was legitimately screwed over, that he was targeted by this woman. And she kind of admitted it to her friends in those texts that she was going to do this and do that and kind of put her claws into Trevor Bauer. And I mean, that's a load of BS. So when Bauer got his name cleared, now he's putting her name out there. I mean, you can't really blame him for doing that. It's almost like what happened to Matt Ariza. He's coming and countersuing the woman that falsely accused him.
I don't know where it's going to go. I mean, Bauer's sexual proclivities, I think, stained Major League Baseball. I think it impacted the Dodgers. And I think baseball had a right, just because of the way he was conducting his life off the field. We don't accept that. Morality clause, I guess. But he did serve a sentence. He paid the price.
But he paid a price for something that he didn't do.
Well, rough sex, way over the line. But that's not normal.
Well, I think it's whatever your interpretation of rough sex is. I mean, that can vary by the individual. But if she was, saying, to her friends, hey, I'm going to find my way to get in here with Trevor Bauer, Bauer was getting played in this, because he's an easy target. So it's funny how when more information comes out, your perspective changes a little here.
We shall see if anybody takes a run. He's a free agent. The last night of the World Series, anybody can negotiate with anybody. We'll see if somebody wants to take a run at Trevor Bauer. Ready?